Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be an Archangel Michael reading. I am flowing through the energies, the signs, the days, the months. This video is for Taurus, so welcome Taurus. Welcome if you're another sign, and welcome if you have Taurus in another part of your chart. I say it's an Archangel Michael reading because when I say the Archangel Michael prayer, that's the angel that comes up, and I did see a vision. It was different. It comes up differently from time to time, but this time it was one where the Archangel had glowing eyes, like light coming through the eyes. So I felt that that was something to note. I will make this a little bit shorter. Hopefully it'll be shorter because the internet here is inconsistent. So I try to upload them. Sometimes it just won't connect. But when it does connect, it does it within a good amount of time to have it uploaded onto the channel. So I like that I could film on my phone too for those other times and get the daily messages out, or those messages that pop up here and there on my channel. Um, I don't have too many channeled messages, but I did see a blue truck a couple of days ago when I was at the other hotel. And just to say, I am in the process of moving overseas, so I'm doing this type of thing right now with going here and going there. Hopefully, you don't mind. Um, so when I was on my way to work, I did see a really blue truck, and um, when I saw it pass, it I got the vision of like someone with brown hair, and the truck was longer, so it almost seemed like it would be one of those ones where you would transport somebody that's maybe laying down. So maybe somebody could have been moving um, to a different area, I would say, to get some medical assistance in some way. Um, then the other long reading that I posted, I did feel the strong energy of the group that would watch the video, and it was like they were in the same room as me. It was kind of like not dimensions, but in a way that they almost intertwined where it felt, and I could see the energies in the same room. And the last two nights, one specific energy that is consistent too. And I'm happy that I can feel that energy and see it. Uh, this is my pair of the Hema. This is the slightly modified version. I have my bracelet under here too. If you can see it behind me, I have some clothes drying. There's a public public area to wash and dry your clothes, but I I don't want to go there, so I just do it here. It's mainly my work uniform. So I'll start pulling the cards. Before I was about to film Three of Pentacles, Three of Coins reversed, I was getting like the book The Giver, and it kind of puts it into a different world almost, to where it doesn't feel humane in different ways, but humane specifically in a way where it's like in the where it strips away the things that make life life. It's very regimented. I was also getting the word nettle right before I was filming. It kind of reminds me of nettle, like the one of the rabbits that was in the Watership Down. And the intentions of the rabbit was for the greater good, but ending up scapegoating somebody or saying things that were meant to stay in the group, or were for the most part meant to stay within those walls, or because she was trying to keep the other does safe, and by doing that she acted as like she told the things that they would talk about and that they were planning on doing. And with the Fool card, there is an energy of like uprooted energy. This could also be one where somebody doesn't necessarily have ill will, but talks, like slanders somebody in some way because of how they're feeling. And with specific signs, like I would say, I'm not saying it has to be a Pisces, but just to say in general, sometimes I'm just generalizing, but when they're upset, there's a tendency of saying things, but you know that they're upset about something. So, as maybe a person that's like could be partnered with them, or could have some type of interaction like that with them, they'll say, okay, hey, what's going on? And I think it's an important thing to make sure that they're heard. And with Pisces, sometimes there's a feeling of being misunderstood. Either the situation or how they're feeling, they need to have some type of um, I wouldn't say you need to be validated by other people, but there's a sense of needing your feelings to be validated, just to feel something. And because that happens, that might be why the reversed Three of Pentacles, Three of Coins comes out. Because it can feel like there's something that really, again, uproots that interaction, that situation, the mentality, the way that they feel or think about those things or that person. I would say, especially for these situations, I have mentioned it before, to if those Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, if you feel like those things that are coming up are justified, by all means, there's also something to think about when those things are coming out, and maybe the person isn't even doing anything or addressing it because they're like, oh my god, please tell me more things about myself, uh, in a way where, what new story is coming out about me? And that was more sarcastic in a way. I do feel like there's energy that clears up, to say the least. In the future, you have the Page of Cups. And in the past is the Justice card, which I am feeling it goes with the energy of the Archangel Michael, because we're judged on how much we love. There's an importance I'm getting, like how an animal may shed their skin. We're not doing that externally, but sorry, that's my phone. Um, More so internally. On how we heal ourselves and how that helps situations that we're either in right now or that will be that we'll encounter in the future. With the Queen of Pentacles, it does match up a lot with the Knight of Pentacles. I would say that's the overall energy for this reading. The Queen goes back to a Knight, but it's not bad. It kind of feels like taking a couple steps back, but with the Knight of Wands, because you have another Knight here to overcome the obstacle, and the obstacle is temperance. Um, it feels interesting because you have Sagittarius in those cards. That can be linked to temperance, and it's a water. I'm sorry, I didn't. It's a fire sign. Since I was about to say water, it could be linking to the Page of Cups. Um, the balance that you get, and since you have Justice in the past, of water with the cup suit and fire with the wand suit and with temperance, because with temperance linking to Sagittarius, there is that importance of taming the battle that's within. And I feel like this could be an important time to do that. As I said, there has been a little bit of downtime, not too much downtime, to heal yourself because it's definitely something that's going to be useful and to it helps pave the way for things that might be difficult in the future. So with temperance in the obstacle and then you have to overcome it, the Knight of Wands, it does feel like I'm getting the energy of like goat energy, which isn't surprising because you have Aries too, that's a fire sign. And that goes beyond measure to go to those heights, to go to those areas that maybe some people wouldn't. There's a sense of being a little bit of a risk taker, but that's what you're built to do. That's what you're made to do. You see these mountain goats, they go to these steep mountains and cliffs to get these places that other animals can't reach. And even the way that they can stomach things, I do feel like that's the balance of the water and fire to be able to move forward and to know that there's a strength and foundation that's within yourself and within maybe the relationship that you keep sacred for yourself and for the other person. Um, because with the goats, they have the ability to digest things because of all the plant matter that they come across on their adventures, on their journeys. There's a bit of fearlessness that you can get with this type of energy. Um, and again, with the balance of it, to make sure you know what the boundaries are. You make sure to know your capabilities and how these moments show those capabilities and your abilities to do things. You have the present card, which is the Three of Wands. There is an emphasis on fire energy, although there are energies here that are different elements, such as the cups and the pentacles being earth. That earth card with those archetypes of being the queen and the knight, even though you're going back to the knight, the knight could also be fulfilling another task, another duty, and that's why it goes back to the knight. It may need to learn something else within that realm of pentacles, the earth. That could be the groundedness and solidarity, steadfastness that you get with this knight, um, for the temperance, because your obstacle again is the temperance card. It's not something that you necessarily want to have as your obstacle, because that would be more of the inner peace that you get. Um, Also, traditionally having an angel on the card too, it does link to needing to ground yourself and to seek that morality and seek maybe that type of faith that um, can get rocky in these times. For the Three of Wands, it feels a little flighty because you have the boat here, and I was getting an extra card for the Three of Wands, and you get the Eight of Cups, which does feel again with the fire and water. Um, it's like you're jumping it before even knowing, or you actually know, but then the flighty energy or the fleeting energy that you get, um, because you have the three here and then it jumps to the eight. So it kind of feels like jumping to conclusions before even grounding yourself, being able to ground yourself. This seems like it's a consistent energy, and it's one that I feel like is coming up because it has happened, and um, it might keep fucking you up. So it goes back because you have that card. There's extra cards. You have the Seven of Cups, so 8 to 7. So this could be a nice thing to regroup. You have the Seven of Cups here on what takes priority in that emotional realm of importance for you. Sorry if I worded that strangely. Um, because you don't want to put out the flame that's in the Justice card. The Justice card has a candle there. Um, and the person on the card is like in a jungle looking area or in out in nature. And it kind of reminds me of like what is it, those fires that kind of rejuvenate the earth, like, and so new or fresh grass can grow there. The Knight of Pentacles seems to be an important card for this reading. You have it again. This is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. Sorry. Because it's good there is a sense of groundedness that you're doing to regroup or at least to stay put in the time being, even if you have the Chariot card. And with that, I'm sorry, my I have to constantly move because my foot falls asleep. Because you have the Death and Chariot here, which does feel like the Eight of Cups with the Three of Wands, even though it's part of the Major Arcana, and the Wands and the Cups are the Minor Arcana. But with the Chariot card, which traditionally also has an angel on it too, so it is a divine guidance. And with this, I would say, especially since I've been making these specific readings for the past couple of readings, it does feel like being divinely guided in something that I need to do, and that things will progress, especially when I move overseas, because I've been wanting to move overseas for 7 years, and this happens to be the year that I do it. So it does feel like things come together in that regard. But with the Death and the Chariot, and you have the two horses, and to note that the two horses are more of a duality. And they're attached to the chariot. Um, and then um, it feels like with the chariot in this regard, I'm not leaving without you type of energy because you have those two horses. So one isn't leaving without the other. Um, this also feels like the throne angel too, even though I said the Archangel Michael reading. just because the throne angel, when you look at the biblical text, it is of a wheel, like the angel is a wheel of fire with lots of eyes. Of course, as I said, a lot of times in the Bible, they're going to say, do not be afraid. And as I say, to make sure that you really look at what you're seeing. Because a lot of things, especially in the spiritual realm, um, and those types of divine images, they aren't really of the norm here. They have some things that um, can be reminiscent of things that have come from those divine beings and those messages on the creation of certain inventions that we have in this world. But for a lot of it, the the forewarning of do not be afraid because what you're looking at is something that maybe you really don't want to see. So to see past those things, again, Satan's gonna want to um, show you something that you want to see, and then the God source will show you in the way that it's going to show you. So, in response to the Death card and the Chariot card, you have the Ace of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wheels in here. And then with the Slavic legends, it's the coins with the pentacles. So you can see the different interpretations there. But with the swords, it's almost waiting for a response. Because deep down with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Wheels, whatever you want to call this knight, there is an inner knowing. And that sense of integrity, that sense of steadfastness that comes from this um, energy of the knight knows that I'm going to see this through. Um, there's something that just isn't what it seems to be, where you know this situation, you know this person well enough to know that that's fucking bullshit. Um, and you also have a snake here too. And as I said, shedding. There's something that sheds. You also have the Ten of Swords here. So the beginning of the suit, the end of the suit, because Ace is 1, 10 is the end of the cycle, and then it starts over. So, um, at least with the Major Arcana and the Fool's Journey, but you can see it as a cycle, if you will, too, with the Minor Arcana. So you have the Ten of Swords, which really amplifies that situation of the Death card, too. Um, that feels a little premature. It feels like kind of like an immediate past energy. I know that sounds a little bit of a paradox when I say it like that, but it seems like that response was in the past and pretty recently in the past, to where it jumped the gun and went to the Death card with the Chariot card. The Chariot card being like, you can't leave without this person. And again, going back to the Ace of Swords. Um, The Death card kind of reminds me of like nettle too, because there is a plant that grows out of um, the skull there, but it's not a nettle plant. But just to say, for this reading. And there is a sense of moving forward with that too. This is heavy Scorpio energy with the Death card. um, heavy water energy that you can get from the Eight of Cups and the Page of Cups, the Seven of Cups in here, even with the Moon card, because you have the Moon card as an extra card, that affects the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Coins, the Three of Wheels, if you want to call it that. Um, Not only is it a deep connection, a deep knowing, there's also really drastic energies and emotions that really come out of the death card, because what are the things that we do when we see death? It doesn't need to be a literal death, but it can be. Um, so figuratively, spiritually, symbolically, this death. Um, but something is already paved, and it really, I feel like there isn't an understanding, because again you have temperance in the obstacle position to regroup, which is, it's a good thing for sure. The other energy card is the High Priestess. And it is a bit of an eerie card, because I feel like with the High Priestess doesn't really need to reveal stuff, because it's an energy of knowing. And when you know when something's the truth, and you know when something is like, you know when something's like fucking around with your energy, or when you know when something is bullshit, you're just like, you don't even acknowledge it really, because that sense of knowing. I'll pull out a couple more cards, and then it's already half an hour. I mean, that's pretty short for my readings, but I want to make sure this uploads. Page of Cups repeats with a Hierophant. Hierophant can be a higher learning. It could also be, I was going to say, higher judgment. It's not the judgment card, but it is something that's linked to spirituality. Um, so much so that it could also be linked to spiritual union, or something to where there's a reason why there is an integration of these energies that come here. With the Chariot card, again, the duality of those things, and needing to ground at least one of the energies. And that gets really illuminated with the Fool card too, of things maybe getting out of hand, out of proportion, uprooted. With the Knight of Swords, because there is a sense of love to this, there's a sense of commitment, because with the Knight of Swords, it's one where you go for something because of that deep mental understanding that you're going to go for it. There is an independence here too, and it's that choice that you make. Because with the Knight of Swords, it's not really one where it's a tamed energy. Um, Swords, air, with air for a lot of the decks. Sometimes it's switched with the fire. Wands in this reading with fire, have a lot of amplified energy. Um, One really amps up the other energy. And that could be where things get out of hand, but it could also be one where there is passion and drive in that regard, which wouldn't be a bad thing. So then you have the Three of Cups, and this one is Coven. That's what it says on the card. And that, there's a sense of loyalty there too. And I got to clarify the Empress card, which is interesting because I was talking about the goat with the Knight of Wands, and I was talking about Aries energy and fire energy. Um, and that could be linked, at least Aries, to the Emperor card, the counterpart of the Empress. So it would be the embodiment of all of the kings or queens of each of the suits. So this definitely feels like an emphasis on the divine counterparts because you have the Hierophant with it. I keep saying I want to end this reading early and then I pull out more cards. Um, that's me, that's me. So we'll end it on this deck. The Wandering Star. And at least for that, and then maybe I'll read from the Oracle deck, the Goddess Love Oracle. Because the Wandering Star mainly clarifies, because you have the Three of Pentacles with the Five of Swords, the Nine of Swords. Because with the Three of Pentacles wanting to still work on things, that's what you get with the Knight of Pentacles that you have gotten in this reading already. Because with the Five of Swords and the Nine of Swords, heavy on the mind because there's something that is, it feels really conflicting with what your ideologies are, what your expectations are of the situation, of a specific person, like certain things that um, maybe you looked at or you saw just seemed inappropriate, but it wasn't the actions based off what that person or that situation was. Because with the Five of Swords and the Nine of Swords, there's something that feels like inappropriate in terms of what your expectations are for maybe a relationship, but it's getting regrounded. It could have been like either what you saw on social media based off of what another person did, and then this person isn't even like associated with other people like that. Um, and with the Three of Pentacles, it really goes with the Seven of Pentacles because that is a commitment of consistency. Because in order for those crops to grow, you need to continuously take care of them. This does feel like a little bit of a unawareness with the other person too. Like the other person is kind of like, well, I didn't do anything. I don't know anything for the most part. Of course, like it could go the other way around in this reading, but um, I feel like this other person with the High Priestess, like they mind their business, and that's why they're kind of like, even when they know, they're kind of not paying it any mind. And then, but again, with the Pisces energy, there is an importance of acknowledgement too. That if another person feels this way, it's important to work through those things. Otherwise, there could be the energy of this person doesn't need to feel that way or doesn't deserve to feel that way because it's not happening that way. But that's not really how things work in a lot of instances, I would say. And then again with the Page of Cups. So that's this card to end the main reading. Because this is more of like a traditional sense with the Page of Cups that they hold this cup and it can be still holding that cup of love because cups are associated with relationships and love and water, depth, emotion, that realm of things. And with the High Priestess, there's also beads on there, so it can be a strengthening card too, that one may strengthen the other because of the way that they are. So I'm gonna do the card at the bottom. So it's awakening, live in the moment. Sorry, I'm just kind of awkwardly sitting because my foot is falling asleep. Um, oh, it's really falling asleep. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, it's so asleep right now. So I'm just gonna quickly say this. Um, it's what it says in the book. Bridget comes with her sacred gift of awakening. There are aspects and elements in your life that are lying dormant, but perhaps you are not even aware of their presence as they have been asleep for so long. Once they have been stirred into action, you will wonder how you ever lived without them. This awakening may be a slow and challenging process, like struggling the depths from the depths of a warm and cozy slumber, or it may be quick like a cold shower, shocking you back into awareness. Bridget may deliver her gift as a message straight to your heart, and you will know that you will never be the same again. Goddess Bridget knows the perfect time to bring you her gift. She has been watching and waiting, just as she knows when to wake the sleeping winter world at in bulk. She knows when you are ready. She asks for nothing from you except your readiness. Relax and stop grasping. Surrender yourself to the flow of life. A dancer does not dance in order to get to the end of the music, to discover its meaning. She feels and responds every beat and note as she dances. In the same way, Goddess asks you to become aware of the countless magical moments in your everyday life, as it is your awareness of these small moments of magic that will indicate your readiness and your ability to feel the music of life. Are you ready to be fully awake? Bridget may send you her sacred swan as a messenger to say live in the moment, and hair may come and remind you to be aware, accept, and love. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in another reading. Bye.